Good morning, everyone. Um, we were watching the weather with a keen eye, and fingers are crossed we will stay dry. So thank you. Welcome. My name is Bill Garrity. I'm UC Davis's interim university librarian. Um, I'm delighted to welcome you as we celebrate the one and only Chef Martin Yan. However, before we start, we will take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we are gathered. For thousands of years, this land has been the home of the Putwin people. Today, there are three federally recognized Putwin tribes: Quetzal Dehe Band of Wintun Indians of the Calusa Indian Community, Quetzal Dehe Wintun Nation, and Yoka Dehe Nation. The Putwin people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many, many centuries. It has been cherished and protected as elders have instructed their younger generation. We are honored and grateful to be here today on their traditional lands. And Chef Yan, where are you? Oh. And Chef Yan, we are also grateful to you for making UC Davis the home of your incredible collection. We are honored to help you carry your legacy forward by sharing your archive, both with UC Davis students and scholars who come here from around the world. As part of the library's food and wine collections, your 3,000 cookbooks, hundreds of thousands of videos and photographs, and other items you donated will add a rich new perspective to the influence of Asian food and culture in Northern California and beyond. Chef Yan, you've done so much during your career to unite people through food, community service, and your sheer joy of the experience. Thank you very much. And so, in making his gift to the library, Chef Yan said that he hoped it would become a center for people to learn about Asian food and culture in a fun way. And I'm sure this event here will get that off to a rollicking start, and thank you very much for participating in it. Finally, I'd like to introduce Dana Allen, Assistant Vice Chancellor and Executive Director of the UC Davis Alumni Association, who will extend a few words of welcome from campus. Dana?
Good morning, everyone, and let me extend my appreciation for you being here as well. I'm really pleased to welcome you all here as part of a multi-day celebration that truly recognizes the generosity and impact of Davis's own Martin Yan. Chef Yan holds 2 degrees from UC Davis, a university he originally planned to be just part of a weekend trip, but lucky for us, turned into a lifetime connection. While he was here, he taught Chinese cooking classes through the extension, and that allowed him to not only hone his craft, but develop the style and charisma that would turn him into the TV star he would later become. Martin met his wife Susan, class of 75, while he was here, and their 2 twin sons, Colin and Devin, are both UC grads, with Colin earning his degree from Davis in 2014. With all of this Aggie pride, it was a natural fit for Chef Yan to make a gift to the UC Davis Library and create the Chef Martin Yan Legacy Archive, a fantastic collection which truly reflects its international impact. Chef Yan, on behalf of more than 300,000 UC Davis alumni worldwide, I want to say thank you, not only for your gift, but for being a wonderful example of the impact that Aggies have across the globe. Your life and your work truly embody Davis's spirit and pride, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to welcome you back home today. And so with that, I'd like to turn the stage over to our MC, Pamela Wu, Director of News and Media Relations at UC Davis Health, and a former Sacramento broadcast journalist, and our guest of honor, Martin Yan.
Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you so much to Bill as well. Wonderful introduction, recapping Chef Yan's connection to UC Davis and also his illustrious television and cooking career. I'm not going to keep you from this guy any longer because I know that everyone is here to see him do his amazing thing that many of us have only ever seen on television, so it's really exciting to be here. I gotta ask, what are you making today?
I'm making a California-style, healthy, delicious chicken salad.
Sounds wonderful. No better place to use California cuisine than right here in Yolo County. We'll let you get to it, and I'll see you in just a moment when you are done, and we'll sit down. I'm going to ask you some nosy questions, okay?
First of all, don't look so serious. We're families. The reason why we're family is because when I went to Davis, I don't have any money. Unlike some of the new immigrant, some of the new UC Davis students, they have money to come over here. And I came over here with $5. And then I have to make money to be able to pay for the tuition of a foreign student. So I end up teaching cooking class. And then at the end of the cooking class, you remember, we take you to Chinatown each time. So how many of you actually took my cooking class throughout the years? See that? Okay. Who took my first cooking class in 1973 or 74? See? Took my cooking class, my first cooking class. And then you were about 18 years old, I was about 15. We grew up together. People always say, I grew up with your show. I have good news for you. When you were young, I was also very young. When we grew up, I grew up with you. And I feel like homecoming because this is my home. In fact, this is my favorite spot, the library. And then when I got tired of inside, I'll come out here, this beautiful courtyard, and look at the tree. I remember when I went to Davis, this is only about half the size. Now look at that. Davis has grown like this huge tree and has become one of the premier. It's always a great university, but now it's a premier public institution in the world. And I tell everybody with pride is that I went to UC Davis. And the reason why they attract me to UC Davis, I used to drive by, before I came over here, I drive by Freeway 80. I smell something that attract me. So I said, this is the place, because when I was growing up in China, this the smell. And then also, I have never seen so many bikes. That's what attracted me. When I grew up, there's no car, no motorcycle, only bikes. Bikes all over the place. And I figured out this is very, very much like my hometown in Guangzhou. So I was born and grew up in Guangzhou, China. When I was about 5 years old, my father passed away. My mother never went to school. So I had to take care of myself. And throughout the year, I learned to take care of myself. And I have great news for you. For those who have taken cooking class from me, and I hope you have been benefit. Tell a little bit about your experience of taking a cooking class. You should stand up when you talk. Look at the kid, look at the audience. Don't look at me. I get nervous when you look at me.
And my husband on Martin Yang's recipes, and now our grandchildren. So.
Now, of course, among our audience here, some of my food science lab partners, technicians and professors, Professor Chris Brun, my professor, sensory evaluation. So, as I said, this is homecoming for me. And I'm seeing reconnect with all the old friends and also meeting new friends. How many of you, see, I have never met you before, so new friends. You are new friends. But we are connecting with old friends. So today, I want to show you a few things. I always have, in fact, yesterday, I did a presentation for the students. And about 40% of them are food science students. They asked me for advice, and I gave them the advice, and I said, look, to be successful in any field, you got to love what you do. Follow your instinct. You got to love what you do. And when you love what you do and you're passionate about what you do, you don't have to work a day of your life. That's what Oprah Winfrey said. You love what you do, you don't have to work. I don't have to work. Okay? So that's why I have been doing it for so long. So I've been on television, you know how long? 45 years. And making it the longest continuous running cooking show on this planet. And then I travel all over the world. In fact, we're just in Tuscany, in Italy. Debbie all arranged that we travel with 24 people. We travel all over, from Venice all the way to Rome. And then every day we cook with the local Italian chef. We went to the market and pick up all the produce. And then we cook. And I have a whole suitcase of seasoning. I have 5 spice powder, hoisin sauce, and all kinds of stuff, salted duck egg, and a Chinese anchovy. That's why the whole plane know I am cooking Chinese food. They can smell the anchovy. Anyway, just like durian. So we the title of the tour is called Pasta Chow Mein. Pasta Chow Mein, because pasta chow, Italian, chow mein is Chinese. So pasta chow mein tour. We stay in a villa. It's a villa tour. It's an amazing experience. We go things that everything we turn around is 1,000 years old. We stay in a villa 1,200 years old. So anyway, I want to show you a few things. I was conveying to the student yesterday. I said, you come to the university, you learn a tool. The tool, your education. It doesn't matter what field, whether you're artist or musician, engineer, or veterinarian, or medical or law. That's the tool that you need. Same thing as a chef, you have to have the tool. I remember when I started doing it, Dexter, the knife, all the Chinese restaurants use the Dexter brand. And I helped them to design the knife for Dexter. And this is the knife that I actually use. And this is the same knife I used this morning to shave. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. Now, everybody know, tool is important. The right tool for the right job. That's the reason why I encourage a student. I said, look, when you graduate, you'll face a lot of challenges, sometimes difficulty, sometimes suspicion, but you just have to tell yourself, this is what you wanted to do, and you keep doing it. I have not changed my course. All my entire life, my entire career, I stayed with food and cooking. And now the show is broadcast in 60 countries. And has reached about 2.5 billion people around the world. Because our show is in Europe, all over Asia, in Australia, in Japan, Korea, China, and India. Can you imagine? All the people in India is learning how to cook Chinese food. But anyway, I want to show you a sharp knife is a safe knife. Just like any tool. That's why I encourage all the students that learn as much as possible and make sure you have a very, very good tool for your future. When you have a skill, you can never, never go hungry. You can always find a job. So I want to show you. How can you tell a knife is a sharp knife? Look at that. Here is the knife. Flimsy paper. And I put it over here and I go, I cut! Now, if you're not impressed, I really don't care. Okay, look at that. Because I believe in myself and I have enough confidence, okay? And I cut. Then I cut. That means when you have a sharp knife, you can do a lot of things, okay? Now, I want to show you this. You ever travel to different part of China, they have, even in Chinatown, they have people do paper cutting with a scissor, right? When you have a sharp knife, you can do paper cutting. Look at that. One. I'm glad a few people are excited. You know, I have learned one thing in the public. No matter how hard you try, You can never please all the people all the time, so why bother? All I need is a few of my friends and family. The people took my cooking class, like what I do. That's all I care. Okay, now look at this. Paper cutting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Why 8? 8 is a good luck number in Asia. If you are in real estate, you never sell a house number 4 to any potential buyer. They will not buy it. 4, 44, 404. No, but always 8, 88, 168. When this is cut, let me show you a true test of your sharp knife. Finally, you get a little bit more emotional. Look at that. Clean cut. Now this is for you. You're young. You're the youngest audience here. You can tape this in your desk, or over your desk when you study. You just remember the right tool for the right job. So learn to be good in what you do. And then I want to show you something. Here I have a knife, and I want to show you how to remove the seed from the bell pepper, which you have seen it many, many times, okay? You seesaw your knife like this, okay? You seesaw your knife, done. Now I know some of you are so impressed, you're stunned into complete silence. You just go, you know what? Yan can, so can you. I always remember, if I can do something, if you cannot do it, why even teach people? I want to show you things that you can do at home. Now I want to show you, normally this is julienne, 1, 2, 3. This is the julienne slices, okay? And then I also do julienne slices, cut in half, okay? And then I cut in half. And then I cut in half. Yan can cut, you cannot. The reason is because you don't have a knife like this. And I continue to do this. I want to show you to make sure. Look at that. Let me show you. You see this? You see this? I cut it so thin, you can actually see it. I can read. That's what happened when I study. I cut this and I paste it on. I can still read it. That means it reminds me that the tool that you have is important. And then, you know what? I have done 4 slices already. I can do it again. And I can do it again. That's the reason why I am on television and you are not. And then now I cut. With this 1 piece of bell pepper, I always tell people, you learn to be frugal. Nowadays, food costs a lot of money, inflation. So you can feed the whole family with 1 bell pepper. You are good. Okay? In China, we learn to cut enough slices out of 1 bell pepper to feed the entire village. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me show you something that I have done that you will be very impressed. If you're not, no problem. I don't care. That's the reason why some of you are completely silent. You're shocked. And only the people in the front can see it, then you are impressed. Look at this. Do you think you can do it?
Probably not.
See that? That's the reason why I like the Davis community. Honesty. He said, probably not. I trust you. You're telling the truth. That's the reason why you are not television. I am. Look at that. See that? Anybody try to challenge me? Okay. Now, let me show you. You know, That's what I'm saying. Look at that. I don't know anybody know how old I am. 25. I was born before Dr. Brun's parent. I was born in December 22nd, 1948. And you can ask my friends, I have not gained 1 pound in 36 years. And I eat well. Asian diet is good because you eat a lot of vegetable. Always eat with the season. Always eat with the freshest. And also, you always use meat as a flavoring to flavor your vegetable. So you got fiber, you got nutrients, you got antioxidants, you got all kinds of stuff. And I feel good. And now, when this is done, I'm going to use this to sprinkle this as a flavor, garnish, okay? And then in the meantime, I cut this up, cut, put in my salad, cut. And then I put this in my salad, so give that. I have some cut up lettuce, okay? And then I have slow motion so you can see. Seesaw your bell pepper, rotate, seesaw, rotate, seesaw, rotate, seesaw, rotate, seesaw, rotate, seesaw, rotate. Done. Okay? It looks like somebody didn't have breakfast. There's no energy. Now let me show you how to do this, okay? Properly. When you do this, you do it with energy, excitement, and commitment. You don't just go. This is not the way to welcome your family members to come. This is how you do it. You notice that throughout my whole career, I try to interact with the audience. I try to engage people. Can you imagine if I do something like that? Here is a bell pepper. I'm going to cut. Nobody going to watch me. Why would they stay with you for 45 years on public television? And then I'm going to cut this up. I butterfly this again, okay? Because I want to cut into smaller pieces. And then I cut. And then when this is done, look at that. Again, it looks like I'm impressing a little bit more people. I can tell the response. Look at that. I use this to transfer, and I put it right here. And then I'm going to show you how to put together this beautiful salad, okay? You have all of these things already over here. And then I have California honeydew, which is very rarely you see that in a Chinese restaurant. I use California item. Honeydew. And also carrot, because beta-carotene. Carrot also give you texture. And then cucumber. And then also I have cantaloupe. All of these are grown in California. And then I have some roast chicken, which I put the roast chicken right here on the top, okay? So this is, you can use poached chicken or roast. And then I have California berry, a raspberry and blueberry. And this is another thing that you don't see in a lot of Chinese restaurants when they have this dish. And then, look at that. So this is the healthiest salad. And then I have edible flower from my garden. I actually have a little vegetable garden, and I grow. I'm a gardener, okay? And then I have all of these. And then I have a dressing. Now, this is secret dressing. If you want to find out, get a book. Look at that. Look at that. It is so amazing. I have never seen anything like this before. Let me show you. It's actually very delicious. Look at that. It's colorful. It's color. You eat with your eye, so it has to look good. It's colorful. Look at that. You can put the whole thing together in a few minutes. Okay, I can do it in 2 minutes. You can probably do it in 3.5 minutes. Look at that. So easy to do. That's why I always say, Yan can, so can you. Honest man, I like you. Look at that. See that? Yeah. You see? It is so simple, yet so healthy. Because you know what? Got texture contrast, color contrast, flavor contrast, and a secret seasoning, a secret dressing in my book. See that? So everybody can do it. Now I want to show it to the camera. Look at that. You see that? Now, in the meantime, I want to show you, to show my appreciation. I'm going to give these to my first official student. Okay? And then, and I even have a plate here. Then do not share with anybody except your family. Okay. This is, the husband can come over here and pick it up. Help. Now, we have done this before, right? So, now, watch. I'm going to show you how to break down a chicken in 18 seconds. I practice this all the time. In fact, last night in Hyatt Place, I went to the store and I bought 12 chickens. And I practice. I stay up all night to practice. You don't believe me? You go to room 303 in the bathtub, 12 chicken carcass in the bathtub. Not only that, you can use this as a musical instrument. Look at that. Now, I want you to time it. I need 3 official timers to time whether I can do it in 18 seconds. I only have 1 chicken, so I have to make sure I can do it in 18 seconds, okay? Now, everybody know that no chef, we have a couple of chefs here, no chef can literally bone a chicken in less than 60 seconds if the chicken is nervous. How can you tell a nervous chicken? The nervous chicken looks like this, okay? Relaxed chicken looks like this. Nervous chicken, relaxed chicken, nervous chicken. So how is it going to relax your chicken? This is never described in the cookbook. No chef wants to share with you the secret. 3 fingers. Hold on to this. Total control. 3, not 4, not 5, 3. You go up and down, loosening up the joints, okay? Now, you notice that I go up and down, and then circular motion. Do not use any horizontal movement, waste of time. Up and down, circular motion, up and down, circular motion, and then you wing it. I always joke with people, I always buy chickens are politically correct. You got the left wing and the right wing. Now look at that. Look at that. And then loosening up, and I go like that, and the chicken totally relax. Okay? Now, look at that. See that? It takes about 3 hours to do this. Now, I want you to pay attention, okay? Are you ready? First, Qigong. complete silence, total concentration. The chicken is nervous. Time it, 18 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. One cut, another cut, turn to the side. One cut along the back, hold this joint, push the whole thing, comes out like that, hold this, comes out like that, hold the tendon, comes out like that, turn to the other side. This joint, push the whole thing out, comes out like that, hold this one, comes out like that. And then last tendon comes out like that, done.
He did it in under 18 seconds.
World record. I'm going to challenge my good friend Barbie Frey and Gordon Ramsay. Because I get on a lot of these shows, the Iron Chef and the Hell's Kitchen and all this stuff. And I want to show you, nowadays, this piece, because inflation, used to be about $3.95. Now it's about $5.95, just the chicken breast. I want to show you how fast you can do it. 1, 2, 3, $4.95. $5.95. And then I want to show you how to make a drumstick out of these. Okay? This, you can make a drumstick out of these. You don't know how to do this? Check your old recipe that I show you. And for new friends, the book. Right next to the John. One little slice right next to John. And then you can hold on to this. And then you can make a drumstick out of these. You hold on to this and you break it, and both bone comes out. And then you remove the smaller piece of bone. Okay? Smaller piece of bone. Then put in a stock pot, and you remove the wingtip, put in a stock pot, and then you have a drumstick. Now, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I want to remind you, I am always carry sanitizer. See that? See that? Very important nowadays, particularly COVID is coming back a little bit, so you got to be careful. I always remind people, in any public place, particularly on the plane, make sure you put on your mask. A lot of people don't put on the mask. I think you should put on your mask. But anyway, I think I am done. If anybody interested in the book later, I'll be happy to sign it for you. And then later on, I'll be over there. I'll be taking photographs, particularly only with people who took my cooking class. Otherwise, you'll be charged about 1 yen. Chinese yen. And also yesterday is the Octomoon Festival.
That's right.
Yesterday, official. So we actually serve moon cakes. Okay? I cut up some of these, and I would invite both of you to come up here. Come. Yeah, come. And then you can get one of these, smaller one, and then get one piece of these. Inside there, actually show people that the egg yolk will show people the egg yolk. Yeah, one for you. There's no yolk. You have yolk. And show people the yolk.
It looks like a moon.
That yolk inside symbolize the moon. You know, Louis Armstrong is not the first one went to the moon. It's a Chinese Chang'e went to the moon 3,000 years ago.
Chang'e.
That's a fairy tale. The Chinese, actually, the lady took some potion and went up. You can turn around and around and around, but you can sit down too. But anyway, I think I am ready to sit down.
Thank you for the great demonstration and for providing my son with some souvenirs, it would seem.
Souvenir means you should not eat, just look at it for the next 2 weeks. This is for you.
Thank you. I can feel your connection to UC Davis.
It's homecoming.
Do you feel like that? I mean, do you feel like it's like palpable, right? That he's part of the fabric of this community. And you've talked about, the classes that you taught at Extension and, driving by and smelling the famous Davis aroma. But I wanted to ask more specifically, what memories do you have of your college days? What was Martin Yan like as a college student?
I remember because, as I mentioned, I have to find a way to get money so I can pay for room and board and tuition fee. So I actually get involved with a lot of the International Day and all they have the student, they actually have a cooking club. I was involved in the cooking club. So on weekends, sometimes I would do parties, go to the professor's house or a friend's house to do a birthday party, anniversary party, a wedding party. And so I can support myself, so I can stay. I always believe, though, this is such a great campus, I will find any way, I'll find a way to stay put at Davis. So, and then this is where I meet my wife, Susan. Sue, my wife is walking around. Just walk away from me. It's amazing. We met at Davis, and our children came to Davis. So we have a wonderful farm memory, a lot of wonderful, happy farm memory at UC Davis.
How did you meet her?
I do cooking class in the Extension. I also do cooking class in the coffee house for the student that cannot afford to pay. So I do 2 cooking class. And all her roommates took my cooking class except her. So I was wondering why people don't take my cooking class. It doesn't make sense. So I dated her. I'm just curious. And I said, why? And then later on, when we get to know each other, and I start cooking for her and her roommate, she always tell me, honey, do this, honey, do that. So I love honeydew.
She was like a focus group of one for you, like audience research.
You know what? I love to teach. I love to share because I love to cook.
Yeah.
It's no fun to cook for yourself. Is it true? It is much more fun to cook for your family and friends. In Asia, I don't know whether it's very common here. Sometimes I see people, my neighbors, would make some cookies and pastry and would send it to me. In Asia, you always will have extra food because we grew up in a time there's not enough food. So whenever you have something extra, you always share with your neighbor. So I always learn that cooking is not just cooking for yourself, but cooking to share. Food is to be shared.
Yes. The experience is to be shared. Food is love. I think that we probably have a lot of students here on campus who, do DoorDash or peanut butter sandwiches or ramen, right? What did Martin Yan's college diet look like?
I cannot afford to stay in the dorm. So 6 of us actually stay in a 2-bedroom apartment. And then we don't have a bed because there's 3 people in one room. So we have sleeping bags. So this is how we save money. And then we take turn to cook. And then after a little bit, my roommates, such a lousy cook. So I decided I will be cooking, and they wash the dishes. So, and then we went through a wonderful time. And occasionally we watch, I'm just joking with some of you that a couple of my roommates actually very, very good cook. But they're slow. Like you're pretty slow. You got to be fast because we got to cook and eat and then study, right? Yeah. So I remember during that time I also occasionally we watch television. And then we watch PBS because in the old days there's only 2 cooking shows on PBS. Julia Child's French Chef and Galloping Gourmet with Graham Kerr. And the Yan Can Cook Show, and I watched and said, gee, they're both very knowledgeable, they're very educational, and they're also a lot of fun. Yeah. So I joked with my roommate, I said, maybe, hopefully, one day, I hope I'll be on television. And then Yan Can Cook was the 3rd cooking show on television.
A lot of us have been enjoying the photos on the screen right here. A lot of them are part of the collection that you donated to the UC Davis Library. For those who haven't seen it, please tell us about the collection.
Well, throughout the last 40-some, 50 years of my career, I have collected a lot of cookbooks. All the celebrity chefs, sometimes they would send me the manuscript and ask me to do a blurb to endorse the book. So a lot of those are actually from our celebrity friends, like Jacques Pepin, Joanne Weir, and a lot of these people, Ming Tsai. So I decided, and also my house is not big enough to put all these books. So I was so happy to move my collection to the Legacy Archive, the special collection at UC Davis. So I have an extra room. So next time when you come to the Bay Area and an extra room, you can stay with me.
Because the stuff is here.
Right, because I believe if I put it in my house, I can only read it by myself or a few friends. But here, everybody in the community, in the Davis, Sacramento community, and also around the world can actually benefit from this collection. So that's the reason why I donated. In fact, I have another 1,000 cookbook because I'm writing another cookbook. So after I finish, I'll donate all the rest of my cookbook. And also Sue's cookbook. Every cookbook will come to the library. Hopefully, we build this into one of the largest Asian collection of culinary art in the country.
Wonderful. For those who haven't seen it, Bill, where is the collection located here at Shields?
The collection is in the, I'm going to use librarian jargon, TX classification, which is on the 3rd floor right over here. And we have actually selected and pulled out Chef Yan's cookbooks that are integrated in the rest of our cookbook collection and slipped them so you can see how many volumes Chef Yan has added to our collection, and it's made a tremendous improvement. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have people that doing the catalog, and now one of the lady doing the catalog is also here in the audience. But anyway, I'm so honored and privileged to have the opportunity to do it, because when you have good fortune, when you have something, you should share with everybody. If I put it just like a museum, if you have put it in your own dining room, you're not able to share with all the people. So I decided to put all of those, not only the cookbook, but also throughout the year, all the documentation, all the things, all the photo, millions of photo, food photograph that I travel. And in order for you to get all of those, you have to travel for 45 years to have such collection. So I'm so happy and so excited to be able to have this collection. Everybody around the world in the community and anybody interested in cooking Asian and Chinese and Asian cuisine can have access to this collection.
This leads right into my next question. Something that we had talked about in an earlier call to prepare for this conversation was that you're not just a chef, you're an ambassador. This collection is part of your outreach. But can you talk more about your ambassadorship? For what are you an ambassador, and to whom?
I remember when I went to Davis, I teach cooking not just to make money to go to school. I have a mission. I believe food is a universal language, has no national, international boundary. With good food, we're all good friends, right? We're all friends. Food and cooking is a connector. It breaks down all the barriers, okay? Particularly in a time of challenging time nowadays, food is a very, very important medium for all of us to sit down and look at our common grounds as well as differences. So I consider myself as an ambassador of East and Western culture. When I do it in America, I would introduce all the Asian culture, not just Chinese. I visit Japan, Korea, Australia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, all the Chinatown around the world. I have a book called Martin Yan's Chinatown around the world. And it's introduced by my idol, the iconic Julia Child. So I believe that I have the responsibility, just like many of you, we're here to bring the community closer together. That's the reason why the Davis community is such a great community. And Sue, where are you? When we make enough money, let's sell the house over there and move to Davis.
You know so many of your new neighbors already. I love that you used California produce,
Yeah.
right, in the dish that you made today. Especially here in this region, we're so conscious of the fact that, you know, the agriculture is so close to us. We try to eat close to the land. People refer to this region as the farm to fork capital. I think that you called it something else, farm to
Chopstick.
chopstick.
Yeah, farm to chopstick.
Can you talk a bit about what the relationship between agriculture and the food on our plates means to you?
Now, first of all, one of the reasons why I stay in Davis, Davis had the reputation as one of the best agricultural colleges in the country, probably in the world. And then California is the most productive agricultural land on earth, the most productive. You look around, the produce around the world, a lot of stuff is from California. I just did a show called Walk Around the Bay, WOK Walk. And I introduced all the master chef and the recipes, not just Chinese restaurant. And then I discovered a lot of the produce, a lot of the winery, a lot of many of the winemakers graduate from UC. We have a wonderful guest here. Went to the program at UC Davis, and now he's an expert in food and wine pairing. And UC Davis, the faculty of food science as well as viticulture and enology make such wonderful contribution to the agriculture of California, not only California, but around the country. So that's the reason why I think we are so lucky to come and to attend UC Davis, which the whole team, all the faculty, all the staff have contributed so much to the agricultural productivity of California. And yesterday, 2 days ago, I did a harvest. We picked the Pinot Noir and Cabernet grape. And many of these varietal actually is developed at UC Davis.
Very,
So
very
we're
cool.
so proud to tell them that I am an Aggie.
I so often will read articles about food innovation. It always seems like there's some sort of UC Davis connection. So there's just another one, for example. I want to ask, in your off time, what do you like to cook and what do you like to eat? Because those aren't always the same things.
Yeah, I always ask my wife, Sue, what do you like to eat? Because she dictates what I do. So I said, and then normally I would open the fridge and see what is available. Because I do a lot of virtual classes. In fact, I would love to do a virtual cooking class just for the UC Davis community. I do cook a virtual cooking class every week. And we have people from around the world sign up. Sometimes I did a show for Hewlett Packard Enterprise that in 8 hours, we reach about 150,000 people worldwide. We do it in the evening to reach the European market. And then also later on, we do Asia. And then about 1 o'clock, we do Asia. And then in the morning, about 10 o'clock, I do it for the North America. So within 8 hours, we reach hundreds of thousands of people. Because with the social media, with today's internet, you can reach people all over. That's another reason why I want to make that collection and donate it to UC Davis. This way, people can get this information without coming to my library, but come to UC Davis Library, the archive, to be able to get all this information.
So what you like to cook then is what Sue tells you to. And
I like to cook simple things. I eat a lot of vegetable. I have a vegetable garden.
yeah.
And I do a lot of walking with the dogs and try to keep myself mentally and physically fit. And also, I normally like to cook simple food. Whatever is available. You don't want to waste anything. Whatever left over in my fridge, And this way allow you to be creative. So whatever is available, different vegetable, I just put it together. As long as it tastes good, it's nutritious, and that's the way to eat. You don't, in today's, when you are not fussy, when you eat a variety of vegetable, you're healthier. If you, I don't like this, I don't like that, you should eat a variety of vegetable. You eat a variety of food, and just don't overdo it. And the most important thing is diet and exercise.
Yeah.
I want all of you do this.
Oh.
I want all of you do this, okay? Every day. Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
I want everybody to do this.
Get that arm workout deboning your chicken too.
Yeah. I need my energy to break down a chicken.
Okay, so what do you wish people knew about Chinese food?
In the old days, everybody, particularly my colleagues and friends and students took my cooking class. In the beginning, everybody have a perception, misunderstanding. Chinese food is very complicated. It's not. Because you can cut up a lot of stuff ahead of time. And then you cook it the next day. And nowadays, you go to a supermarket, you can actually buy things already cut up. Right? You go to a salad bar and pick up whatever you want. And then this way, is the preparation take a little bit more time. The cooking time only takes a few minutes. You should not stir fry your vegetable for 2 hours, okay? Normally you go to some restaurant and they have cream of asparagus, cream of spinach, cream of mushroom. They cook about 10 hours ago, and they let sit there for another 10 hours. So by the time you sit it, you can't even tell the spinach. You go to an Asian restaurant, when you see asparagus, you can see asparagus. In the original green, bright green color. Never overcook your vegetable, because a lot of these, you ask Professor Brun, a lot of these are heat sensitive, right? I study sensory evaluation from her. If you overcook them, you lose the color, the texture, and some of the nutrients. So never overcook.
I'm walking away with some really great advice. I think we all are. Never overcook. Don't cook your asparagus 20 hours ago. Exercise,
Yeah,
right?
exercise.
Eat in season. What else do you want to leave us with today?
Well, I want to share with people is, in life, just everybody, there's a Chinese saying, 家家有本難念的經. Each family, each community have its problems, challenges, but we just have to live our life with optimism. We just have to look to the future. The future is always bright. You have to have that kind of philosophy for all of us as a community to move on, to become one, rather than a split and antagonistic community. We all live in a place. Let us make this place a wonderful, livable place for all of us. And the same thing, not only in the Davis community, but all over the country. Because right now we're facing such challenges. And that's why everywhere I go, I try to get everybody excited, everybody happy. And if you're not smiling, you have a problem today. But I think we all look to the future with optimism. We have to take care of each other, not just us, but take care of everybody. So, and during the pandemic, I actually did a lot of fundraising. I round up 100 Chinese restaurants all over the country. Vietnamese restaurant, Thai restaurant, Japanese restaurant, Chinese restaurant of different region. And then we provide meals to the frontline hero. We call Walk Together to take care of the frontline hero. Yeah. And each restaurant locally provide 50 to 75 meals every week for 4 months during the toughest time when there's a lot of the death toll was really rising. We provide all of these. So we did it for about almost close to more than a couple million meals from all these restaurants. So I team up with 2 chefs to start it out, and then everybody wanted to get involved. See, so that's why this is what the community is all about. When we are facing challenges, the whole community get together. The food brings all of us together.
Optimism.
Optimism.
Optimism. Thank you for sharing with us today your optimism, your cooking, your love of UC Davis. It's been a really, really wonderful experience. Thank you. For those of you who I know are so excited to be here and, buy the books, chat with Martin, Bill is going to wrap things up and share with you what's coming up next.
Thank you, Chef Ann. Thank you, Pamela. I mean, that was brilliant. I was sitting there completely enraptured with your presentation and demonstration and feeling guilty about all the times I have rage cut up a bell pepper with a butter knife or run away from a chicken. So thank you. We all learned a lot.
Well, I'm
Thank
so
you very
glad
much.
that you're the only one that pay full attention to what I'm saying throughout. The rest of the people just go,
And you can also do about 6 more push-ups than I can. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you all for joining us. As Chef Yan noted, right, food and culture are all about sharing, as are libraries, and we are really happy that you shared your time with us this morning. Thank you very much. We are very grateful for your support. If you're interested in supporting our programs to continue to bring collections like Chef Yan's to the world and UC Davis, behind you at the tables where the refreshments are, there are QR codes where you can shoot the picture and consider making a donation to the UC Davis Library. I also encourage you to take a look at the monitors, both here and in the lobby, to see some parts of the wonderful collection. Kevin Miller, our head of Archives and Special Collections, are the books on the 3rd floor still slipped, do you think? Yeah, if anybody finds me after the presentation, I'd be happy to take you right upstairs and you can actually see the items from Chef Yan's collection in situ right on the shelves. So thank you very much. For those of you who are interested in a signed copy of Chef Yan's works, the line will be to the left of this table over there. And I think that is, and what? Oh, and drinks. Notwithstanding this is not a terribly hot day, drinks and refreshments are behind you at the tables back there. So thank you all very, very much for coming. Chef Yan, you have honored UC Davis and the library with your presence and your collection. Thank you.
Now, one more thing that I'd like to remind all of you. If any one of you have any Asian culinary collections, and if you're not using it every day, don't waste it. Send it to the UC Davis Legacy Archive Library. So we want to make this the largest collection and also support the library. And then if I'm going to tell my wife soon, I'm going to sell the car and donate the money to the library. Anyway, I am so honored and so privileged to be back home, homecoming for me, and seeing all these, reconnecting with all our friends, old friends, and also meeting new friends, you guys new friends.
And my personal thanks to members from the library and campus teams who have put this event together.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The team right there, the best team in any library in the country, the whole team.
And thank you, welcome, and stick around for a few minutes.
Yes. If you get one book, I'll sign 1 page. 2 books, I'll sign 2 pages. 12 books, I'll sign every other page. 12,000 books, I send every single page, and I send it to Martha Stewart to sign it too. Thank you so very much.